still some tailgating going on. The hardy Brewers fans ready for some day baseball today. A rainy Thursday in Milwaukee. The roof is closed. The panels are sealed up tight. It's the final game of the series between the Brewers and the Reds, and it marks the return of Dave Bush. It has been a long road back for Dave Bush. He was hit in the elbow on the 4th of June. And over 2 months later, he's finally back on the mound and ready to make a start for the Milwaukee Brewers. And hi, everybody, and welcome from Miller Park. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Great to have you with us today, and we're excited about this ball game because finally the Brewers have their original 5 starters back intact. And, Rock, it has been a long road for Bush to get back in there.
Yeah, it's amazing. Everybody thought that Dave Bush would maybe miss a couple of starts, win the DL for maybe 2-3 weeks, but it was just one of those things where after he threw down in rehab, just wasn't able to come back, didn't feel all that good, and when Bush was healthy, he was one of the most consistent starters the Brewers had. His first 9 starts, outstanding. The team was 3-0. Bush had a 3-0 record. Then you could tell something was up with Bush after he got hit. He was 0-4, ERA over 9. You know, in the offseason, he was kind of an afterthought as part of this rotation, but one of the most consistent guys in that rotation before that injury.
Well, Dave Bush gave up a lot of runs after the injury. It ended up being a micro tear of the triceps muscle. So now he's back and back healthy once again, hoping to get 80 pitches here today. We had a chance to visit with Chris Bosio, and he kind of laid out the expectations for Dave Bush today.
I'd like to put the reins on him a little bit and just tie him down because he's chomping at the bit. He wants to get out there so bad. And, you know, getting him to stay back, the same thing like Soup, execute his pitches. You know, David is a very nice guy. He's a very polite guy, but I tell you what, he's a different animal when he gets out on that mound. He loves to compete, and you know, he's a big part of this club that we're looking forward to having back out there.
I'll see if the Brewers can provide some run support for him. Must-see TV every day the rest of the year. Braun and Fielder, incredible seasons both. They're back on display when we continue. Brewers baseball this afternoon on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Time Warner Cable, the power of you. And brought to you by AT&T, your world delivered. Matinee baseball here at Miller Park, but the roof is closed and a lot of rain outside. It kind of feels like a night game, and that's not necessarily a bad thing for the Milwaukee Brewers. Dusty Baker in his second season as the skipper of the Cincinnati Reds, and a couple of losing seasons on his record for his 2 years in Cincinnati. His lineup today is brought to you by Subway. Drew Stubbs, Paul Janisch, and Joey Votto still at the top of the order. And then Dusty has Brandon Phillips, Scott Rowland, and Vladimir Valentin in the middle. Johnny Gomes gets the start in left. He's followed by Craig Tatum making his first start, and then Justin Lear, a former Brewer. And that lineup will face Dave Bush.
Well, also good to have the original five in that starting rotation. Dave Bush getting a start here today. Pretty good numbers before that injury in Florida. A 5.67 ER. Really struggled after getting hit with that line drive in 4 starts. Made 4 rehab starts. Last 2 very good.
16th game for Dave Bush. His 15th start of the year. Defensively behind him, Ryan Braun, Mike Cameron, and Jody Garrett start in the outfield. The infield is Casey McGee, Alcides Escobar, Felipe Lopez, and Prince Fielder. And Mike Rivera will catch Dave Bush. Those two battery mates until Bush ended up getting hurt and missing over 2 months of the schedule. So Rivera back in there, and we'll see if Rivera continues to catch Manny Parra consistently. The crew chief, Darryl Cousins, is behind the plate today. Angel Campos, Jim Joyce, and Bill Miller on the bases. Brewers trying to salvage the final game of the series. The Reds have won the first 2, both in extra innings. Entertaining ball games. The Brewers a little sloppy at the end of yesterday's game that cost them perhaps. Lopez is back in the lineup as well. Good to see Felipe Lopez able to play once again today. He did pinch hit last night, but out of the starting lineup last night with a toe injury. Dave Bush ready to work. And his first pitch in the big league since June 20th is in there for a strike, and away we go. Bush has been out with a tear in his triceps muscle. It actually a micro tear is how they describe it. Took that line drive off the bat of Hanley Ramirez, and it tenderized the meat behind the elbow, I guess is the best way to put it.
And just wasn't able to recover after making a couple of rehab starts, so he had to shut it down. And his last 2 very good, able to recover and feel good after making his starts. Good to have him back out on the mound. One of the more consistent starters for the Brewers in the early part of the season this year.
Well, Bush took a no-hitter into the 8th inning in Philadelphia, kind of the high water mark for him this season. That was back on the 23rd of April. Went 7 2/3. And there was a stretch there for Dave Bush where 4 out of 5 starts he made, he went into, or at least 7 innings, and into the 8th a couple of times. Stubbs flies out to Garrett, and that's how the day starts for Dave Bush. On a pitch count of about 80 today, but Ken Maka saying that he'll have to wait and see how stressful his innings are. Obviously, if he goes right through this Cincinnati order, he'll be allowed to continue, but 80 pitches, 5 innings is the goal at the outset.
Well, Bush is the kind of a guy that can get outs early in the count. He doesn't walk many batters. He throws a lot of strikes, and sometimes throwing too many strikes. He gets ahead in the count and wants to put hitters away. That's when he ordinarily gives up some base hits, but you know Bush isn't going to beat himself with the walks, not most of the time.
And you know Bush will pitch inside. He still leads the ball club in hit batters despite missing 2.5 months of the season. He's hit 10 batters this year, and you talk about a match made in heaven with the interim pitching coach Chris Bosio and Dave Bush.
Yeah,
a couple of guys who love to work inside on hitters. Ball with a strike on Paul Janisch. Janisch getting a chance to play just about every day at shortstop for the remainder of the season. Alex Gonzalez traded to the Red Sox. Reds made a couple of deals late. Traded Gonzalez to Boston. They traded David Weathers here to Milwaukee, opening up some spots for some young players, and Dusty Baker in evaluation mode for the rest of the season with the Cincinnati Reds, and he certainly has a lot of young players to look at.
And because of that, they're a team that you can't take for granted. The Brewers will be able to tell you that. No uncertain terms. Cincinnati's been able to win the first 2 games of this series.
Here's the official roster move today, with Bush being activated from the disabled list. Mike Burns option to AAA. So Burns will have to stay down there for 10 days. That puts him right up till the end of the regular season in Nashville, and then it's possible we could see Burns return as a September call-up after that.
Yeah, tough luck loser in last night's ball game. Deserved better. Some shoddy defense by the Crew in the 10th.
Reds winning last night 4-3 in 10 innings. After an 8-6 victory in 13 innings on Tuesday night. Joey Votto hit the game-winning home run Tuesday. Had a leadoff home run in the 13th inning off Todd Coffey. That was enough to win it for Cincinnati. Votto last night was hitless, but he was on base 3 times. 2 walks, 1 intentional, and he was hit by a pitch. But 0 for 2 at the plate. On the inside corner.
Yeah, you got to be careful pitching Votto away. If you're going to pitch him away, you got to keep it down in the strike zone. He's got very good opposite field power. That game-winning home run a couple of days ago to left field.
Votto with 19 home runs for the year, 62 driven in. Just about a month of the season. Rivera setting up inside again. And the 2-1. That's in there for a strike. 2-2. So he dropped a changeup on the inside corner and then came back with a fastball.
Yeah, Votto may be looking for a curveball. I haven't seen a Dave Bush curveball yet. That's his bread and butter pitch. That's probably the best pitch that he throws as far as an out pitch goes and a strikeout pitch.
Back inside. Got him. Boy, beautiful sequence as Bush throws the cut fastball and strikes out Joey Votto. 3 different pitches all in the same location.
All of them inside. A changeup, a four-seamer, and then the cutter. Good job by Bush. That was a nice cut fastball right there, right at the last minute, in off the plate.
Does not look like a guy early who has missed 2.5 months. Now Bush has been on the rehab trail in the minor leagues. Has been starting minor league games. Made rehab starts with Class A Wisconsin on July 10th and then August 18th, and then he made a couple of rehab starts with Double A Huntsville July 15th and then August 22nd. He tried to come back in July and was experiencing so much fatigue in that arm. He couldn't let it go. He had very little velocity, had a lot of soreness, so they shut him down in mid-July, and finally he went through the whole process again.
That just probably tried to come back too soon. That doesn't surprise you with Dave Bush. You knew that he was going to push himself to get back out there on the mound.
2 outs in the Reds first. Brandon Phillips pops it up. Jody Garrett coming in, and a good start for Dave Bush. batting third. Prince Fielder set good numbers against the Reds this year. He's followed by McGee and Cameron. And the bottom three from Maka, Mike Rivera, Dave Bush hitting 8th, the pitcher, and Alcides Escobar batting 9th.
And the Piggly Wiggly scouting report on Justin Lear. He was a Brewer back in 05 and 06. Threw 39 games out of the bullpen in those 2 years combined, a 3-2 record. He's got all 4 pitches. He's got a good sinker, and a cutter's a pretty good pitch. And in 2 different organizations, Phillies and the Reds down in AAA, 13-3, so good numbers for Lear, and a 3.31 ERA.
Lear had an 8-1 record in AAA Louisville in the Reds system, and a 2.51 earned run average, which earned him a promotion to the big leagues with Cincinnati. And today he makes his 6th start. He was exclusively a reliever in the big leagues, 66 consecutive games without a start until the season. And he has not surfaced in the big leagues since 06 when he was a Brewer. So it's been a long, hard road back for him as well, as Felipe Lopez pops one up, and one away for Justin Lear in the first. Defensively, the Reds have Johnny Gomes starting in left here today. Drew Stubbs, the speedy center fielder, with Vladimir Balancin in right. Scott Rowland, Paul Janisch, Brandon Phillips, and Joey Votto. All 4 Gold Glove caliber defenders. And Craig Tatum catching Justin Lear. The numbers for Lear while he was a member of the Brewers over 2 seasons. He was kind of on that up and down trail between the minor leagues and the big leagues.
And not a hard thrower, relies on movement. Yeah, fairly similar to Dave Bush. You know, works the ball in and out, up and down, has a pretty good breaking pitch. He'll throw a fork ball as well.
Jody Garrett back in the starting lineup. Responded for his manager yesterday. Garrett in the leadoff spot for the first time. Had 2 hits, including a home run. 2 for 5 at the plate. Belted his 6th home run of the year yesterday. Actually put the Brewers on the board for the first time in the 5th inning. And Jody Garrett draws the walk. Now his first Miller Park home run yesterday as a member of the Brewers. Jody homered in Washington, D.C. on Monday, and finally hits a home run for the home fans.
Well, Ken Maka playing a hot hand right now. Jody Garrett's been swinging the bat well. Been a little bit more patient at the plate, and because of that, gets another start.
Confidence is an amazing thing, and Garrett certainly has confidence right now. Here's Ryan Braun with 1 out and Garrett at first. Braun with 27 home runs, 2 home runs shy of 100. Something we're keeping a close eye on as Braun puts himself into some lofty company. Ryan starts today with a .314 batting average, which is good enough for 8th in the National League. He's broken into the top 10 with a 3-hit game yesterday. Braun tied for 8th in homers in the National League, and he is 4th in the league in RBIs. And he's not even having the best season in his lineup. I mean, that's a pretty good season. But Prince Fielder enjoying the benefits of Ryan Braun batting in front of him.
And the team might not be playing all that well right now, but it's certainly been a pleasure to watch these 2 guys go at it from day one.
Braun hoping to give Fielder a chance at Lear in the first. Ball and a strike on Braun. Jody Garrett at first, and a shot into left field, a base hit. Punches it through the hole, and 2 on for Prince Fielder in the first inning.
And not much of a break on that slider right there, just kind of rolling up to the plate at this point. Tried to get it on the outer half, leaked it back over the middle, and Ryan able to find the hole in the left field.
5 hits in the series for Braun. Drove in a couple of runs in the 13-inning game on Tuesday. A big 2 RBI single in the 9th inning, part of that big comeback. Had 3 hits yesterday, and now a hit to start it. Taco Bell, who's hot? You could put Braun in there, but how about Fielder? And where he ranks in the National League. 4th in homers, 1st in RBIs, 1st in all of baseball, as a matter of fact. 2nd in slugging. And Fielder hits one deep to right, and there she goes. Prince Fielder right on cue. A 3-run home run. Number 35 for Prince.
Those two guys are amazing, aren't they? Ryan Braun gets on, and Prince Fielder on back-to-back nights able to hit the home run. Ryan was on last night when Prince hit his homer. Best 1-2 punch in baseball. Fastball right down the middle, and Prince able to knock it out of here using a different bat yet again tonight. All the things that Prince Fielder leads the National League in, and the number of different bats he uses, he probably leads the league in as well.
That he does not own. So Fielder with a 3-run homer, 35 home runs, RBIs number 1, 13, 14, and 15.
He was using a black-barreled bat last night.
He's using Mike Cameron's bat last night.
Whatever feels good, right?
That's
Come
right.
to the ballpark, whatever feels good. In the cage, you pick it up, and that's what you use. It's been working for him.
Well, it has 28 on it, and that's Fielder's number.
I think it started as a 23.
I think it's a modified Ricky Weeks bat. That's kind of a, you know, a daily thing here. We always talk to Prince at the batting cage. Hey, Prince, whose bat do you using today? Sticking with Ricky's. All right. It's working out so far.
You'd like to say don't change, but he keeps doing it, and it's working, whatever he's using.
He could probably pick up a table leg right now and hit a home run.
Yeah. You know, the concentration that it takes to be as consistent as he's been all year. Only a select few can do it.
Had a great visit earlier today. If you caught Brewers Live, you saw it. Davey Nelson sitting down with Dusty Baker and the opinions of an opposing manager about Braun and Fielder. Comparing Braun and Fielder, the newest Milwaukee version of Eddie Matthews and Hank Aaron. Pretty strong compliment.
Yeah, I'd say. Well, Justin Lear having a tough time after Lopez pops out. Having a tough time.
Now Dick Pole to the mound, and let's hear from Dusty Baker. This is what you would have heard had you tuned into Brewers Live earlier today.
Eddie Matthews was my manager, and Hank Aaron was my mentor. I mean, they are the modern day Milwaukee, Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews. They're different colors, doesn't matter, but they're all the same.
Right. That's something else, isn't it, from Dusty Baker? He's seen some pretty good baseball players in his day. A terrific player. He's been a very good manager. And those are very lofty compliments that he's been throwing around to Ryan and Prince.
Now both of them just 25 years of age. Fielder with a 3-run home run to put the Brewers on the board of the first. And Mike Cameron with McGee at first. Still just 1 out. It's been 2 walks and 2 hits, and Cameron sends that one deep to center field. Back is Stubbs, and that one is off the wall. It takes a big bounce, and here comes Casey. He's going to try to score, and he will score. McGee all the way from first. A double and an RBI for Mike Cameron, and it's 4-0 Crew.
Well, you could tell a couple of pitches that Lear threw early in this inning that just didn't have the bite. Not throwing very hard. The fastball is only about 86 miles an hour. Not much of a break on the slider and the curveball. You can see that breaking ball just hangs right up in the strike zone. Not much of a bite to it. And the Brewers really taking advantage of it, putting some pretty good swings on the baseball. Here's a guy that threw a shutout against the Cubs back in early August. I mean, really a complete game shutout. Not a bad day's work against the Chicago offense. It's not too bad.
Getting roughed up here today. Lear giving up 4 first-inning runs, still just 1 out. Cameron missing a home run by just a couple of feet. As Rivera sends one in the air to left, Johnny Gomes coming in. There's out number 2.
And the start right after that Cubs start, he beat the Cardinals through 6 innings, 11 base hits, but only allowed 1 run.
He gave up only 4 earned runs in his first 3 starts in the big leagues. Had that complete game against the Cubs and a 4-0 win, complete game shutout for Justin Lear, the first for him in his career. His last time out against Pittsburgh, he struggled, however. In 5 innings, he gave up 6 runs to the Pirates in a 12-2 Pittsburgh win. Dave Bush batting in the 8th spot in the order. Again, Maka sending Escobar to the 9-hole. A Brewers version of a Tony La Russa lineup, something that Maka has been doing a lot of since Escobar arrived to the big leagues. Pitcher batting 8th. Bush not a bad guy to have in that spot. He handles the bat well, gets his bunts down typically when you need him to.
Always good to have your pitcher getting in that bat in the first inning.
Now Bush has been swinging the bat in the minor leagues in his rehab starts, at least in his rehabilitation start in AAA. Or check that, AA, his last start in Huntsville. Pitchers don't start hitting in the minor leagues until they get to AA, and then you only hit when you're with a National League affiliate and you play another National League affiliate.
National League Park, yeah.
2-2 to Bush. Little bouncer out to Phillips. And the first inning is in the books, but the big fella strikes. Number 35 for Prince. First on 3 hits, including a Prince Fielder 3-run home run. Cameron with the other run batted in. And a good start for Dave Bush, and it's good to see Bush commanding, especially on the inner half of the plate.
Well, that's what he ordinarily does, because he likes to throw that cutter and then that sinker. He'll do that, throw that comeback sinking fastball started in off the inside corner to a lefty, and then come back and catch the edge. How about Davey Nelson's Nuggets today? Get out to an early start.
There you go.
Early offense.
Finally, they listened to Davey Nelson.
Karnak. He knew it.
He's got the crystal ball up there.
He had some kind of a feeling today.
Playing the hunches. Inning number 2. Scott Rowland leads off for Cincinnati. Rowland missed a couple of weeks with a concussion. He was hit in the head by Jason Marquis of the Rockies. He's had a monster series here. He was activated off the DL on Sunday. Played in that game against Pittsburgh and then started against the Brewers on Tuesday night here. He had a 4-hit game in the opener, had a couple of hits last night. And doing what he does best, playing an excellent third base.
Man, he's made some tremendous plays over there. Made a backhand play. What was it, last night? Ended up making a throw, well in foul territory, able to get a runner out at first base. And before he got hurt, he was probably the best third baseman in baseball.
He had a lot of back injuries, and the Cardinals kind of gave up on him. They made the deal with Toronto, sending Troy Gloss, or receiving Troy Gloss, sending Rowland to the Blue Jays, and it's been Gloss who's had a hard time getting back on the field. A number of injuries with him as well, shoulder injury. Rowland went to Toronto and played well. He had a good season going for the Blue Jays before being sent back to the National League Central.
Guy plays the infield like a shortstop.
Rowland was hitting .320 in Toronto this year. In 88 games, had 8 homers, 43 runs batted in. I'm always amazed at how big he is, to be so agile. He is a big man. He's wide.
A shortstop and a third baseman's body, right? Covers a lot of ground, has a good arm, and boy, can he hit. Can't be making mistakes on this guy out over the plate.
Just missed.
Not sure where it missed, but it missed. Well, was it low? Must have been. Boy, tough pitch to take. That was right down the middle.
2-2. Bouncer out to Escobar. And he takes care of Rowland for out number 1.
Hey fans, follow the Brewers on your iPhone and iPod Touch with MLB.com At Bat 2009. Features play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcasts. Go to Brewers.com on your iPhone or iPod Touch to purchase.
A lot of baseball today, a lot of night games as well, but there are a few day games in the National League. The Cardinals are hosting the Astros today. Chris Carpenter pitching for St. Louis. Cardinals have put the hammer down in the National League Central. And the Brewers, it was just a month ago. Milwaukee is trying to figure out how they stay in striking distance with 9 games left against St. Louis, as Ballantine saws them off for out number 2. The Brewers have 9 left with the Cardinals, but Milwaukee starts the day 12 back of St. Louis. The Cardinals have a 9-game lead on the Cubs.
Biggest lead of any division in baseball.
That's
Who would
right.
have thought that? We were talking about a month ago it was going to go down to the wire. Not the case, at least not at this point.
Now, you knew somebody would emerge. Somebody was going to get hot, and that somebody, since the All-Star break, has been the St. Louis Cardinals. They've won 8 of their last 10. They've won 4 in a row. Right now, the Brewers just trying to get back to 500. That's step number 1. Start playing better baseball and start having some fun at the old ballpark again.
It's been a very disappointing stretch this month of August. Brewers felt like they were in a position to maybe make a move in the division. They're playing some teams that were below 500. And right now, at the end of August, the Brewers are one of those teams under 500. Who would have thought?
Well, Maka telling us earlier today his mantra is to stay positive and pay attention to details. Make sure you're doing those things, and then the games happen as they happen. I mean, the Brewers have their chances, have had their chances in this series, but the Reds have won 2 extra inning ball games. But you do what you can off the field. You continue to do your work, And every day is a new day.
And when he says details, he's talking about the fundamentals of the game. If you stay true to the fundamentals and you concentrate on the little things, the big things take care of themselves. That meaning winning. And there have been some fundamental lapses for the Brewers in this month.
And Mock is always good at offering perspective. He's a kind of a perspective type manager, and he points out you lose 2/5 of your starting rotation. You lose a couple of big power sources in J.J. Hardy and Corey Hart. And that's tough for a lot of clubs to overcome. And he failed to mention, because it's been so long, but still Ricky Weeks, that is a big loss for the Brewers this year, losing their starting second baseman.
And when it happened, you knew it was going to have an effect on the team. Well, how much of an effect, weren't sure about, but they really do miss him. Got off to a tremendous start.
2 outs for Bush. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Johnny Gomes. And he got him at slow curveball. Gomes is out. And Bush is off to a great start here this afternoon. Giving up just 1 walk, has a pair of strikeouts in 2 scoreless innings.
The Brewers. So Ken Maka vowed to do something different today. He had a mandatory stretch with optional batting practice, and that's something that rarely happens. He said he talked to Willie Randolph about that, and it's something that Willie has done a few times when he was the manager with the Mets. And Prince Fielder before the game had a strange look on his face, and I went up to the big fella. I said, "Hey, what's going on?" He said, "I stretched, but no batting practice." And he said it feels weird, but apparently it has worked so far, because Fielder was able to go deep once again, guys. So Ken Maka just mixing things up, hoping to get some different results.
A little team bonding.
Holding hands.
Holding hands, doing the wave.
Look like a football team in a huddle, right? When they hold hands in a circle.
Escobar grounds out.
Well, they don't have any batting practice. Neither team took batting practice on the field today, but that doesn't mean that there wasn't any hitting going on. You have the batting tee right off to the side of the dugout. Inside the dugout, off to the side, there's a bat room where they have a tee that you can hit. Underneath, there's a batting cage where the guys go out there and get loose. So just because there's no batting practice on the field doesn't mean they weren't able to get loose.
And we should explain and give some reference to that scene that we saw, that we showed you, with the entire team standing in a circle holding hands. I mean, that's a rare sight.
Right.
You just, basically teams stretch in different increments. Relievers stretch together. They do their thing out, usually in the bullpen or in the outfield, and the position players do their thing right outside the dugout.
Right,
so
right.
It was a completely different look and a change from the norm today. And it was a strange sight for all of us. We rolled tape on that because we were all standing down there, and the entire Milwaukee Brewers baseball team is standing in center field.
Doing the wave, doing the arm wave.
That's exactly what we did. in our in the truck in our production crew. That's how we start our day every day.
Hold hands, sing songs.
That's right.
Just get that team unity together. I missed out on that. Why wasn't I invited?
Oh well, you know, you're a former player, so there they are. See, do the wave, boys. Do the wave. It's tough. It's not a lot of coordination in there, so we're working on it. Whatever we could all do to come together, you know what I mean? You got your hair cut yesterday, and that was nice.
I'm kind of glad I missed that, though.
It didn't work.
In all honesty, holding hands is not my thing.
Not necessarily a kumbaya kind of moment for you.
A little uncomfortable with it. But whatever it takes. I mean, if it's going to have the team play better and start winning some ball games, I'll hold hands with you.
Okay, well, maybe Renee. Why don't you start with Renee? Felipe Lopez batting for the second time. He flew out to center field his last time up. Good to see Felipe back in the lineup. A toe injury, scoring a run as part of that 5-run inning on Tuesday. That one's hit pretty well. Deep to center field. Back is Stubbs at the track, and this one bounces off the wall. And Lopez still hobbled by that injury, content with a double.
Yeah, can barely run. I tell you, anybody that's ever had a toe injury will tell you that, you know, that is a very painful thing. I mean, you can walk around, you can go about your daily business, but, you know, if you try and hit, you stay back, you're on those feet, and you try and run, you forget about it. As soon as he makes contact, he forgets about the toe injury. And then that first step reminds you very quickly. Almost hit that one out. Yeah, about a foot. And he would have had a home run, and he would have been able to jog all the way around the bases.
Two deep fly balls to center field that stay in the ballpark. Cameron hit one about 3/4 up the wall in the first inning, and now Lopez missed it by a foot.
The baseball equivalent of the football injury, turf toe.
Turf toe, that's right.
Very uncomfortable.
Tough to make your turns. He says it doesn't necessarily bother him running in a straight line, but not very often in baseball do you run in a straight line.
Not for very long.
A lot of turns, and
90 feet maybe.
Playing second base is all about lateral movement as well, which is why he wasn't able to start yesterday. Jody Garrett with one away. 4-0. The Brewers lead it. Already with 4 hits. And 3 extra base hits off Justin Lear. Fielder's 3-run homer in the first. Cameron and Lopez with doubles.
That's why I was always wondering why baseball people get so excited about a good 60-yard dash time.
Yeah, where'd that start?
What good does that do you?
See how fast he is. There's a line drive caught by Votto, and a snap throw to second, not in time, but a heads-up play. Now, we talked about this Reds infield. All 4 of them slick fielders, and it showed off right there. Unfortunate break for Jody Garrett, who lines out for out number 2.
Yeah, a little bit off the end of the bat, but Joey Votto, he's thinking about the throw even before the ball's in his glove. He pivots around. And it looked pretty close. He might have looked out.
Lopez still at second for Braun. Ryan with a single his last time up. Beat one into the ground between short and third. With Braun, you see hits of all varieties. He uses the entire ballpark. He can shoot one through on the ground. He'll go down the right field line, left field line. He has power to all fields. Another bouncer, Giannis with his great arm, sets and fires, and it's in time for the out. And the inning is over. The Brewers come up scoreless in the second. Presented by Blaine's Farm and Fleet. You'll always find value at your local Farm and Fleet. By Piggly Wiggly. Shop the pig and save. And by Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin. Well, they're having some fun out there at the Harley-Davidson deck here this afternoon. Good crowd at the ballpark. A matinee against the Reds on a rainy Thursday in Brewtown. 4-0. The Crew has the lead. 3 runs. They're making 4 runs in the first on 3 hits. And Fielder with a 3-run home run that opened up the scoring. Meanwhile, Dave Bush has allowed just 1 base runner. Allowed a walk in the first. 2 scoreless innings and 2 strikeouts.
He's had pretty good command. I mean, really on the corners, hasn't made any mistakes. He's starting to throw that curveball. Got Johnny Gomes on a very good curveball with 2 strikes. Dave Bush without the beard. Looks a lot younger, doesn't he?
Got the Fu Manchu going. He had the brawny man look most of the year. The thick beard. The beard that was so thick you could actually braid it if you want. The lumberjack.
What do you expect for a guy from Maine?
Chops wood all winter to stay strong.
Keeps the face warm.
Slow curveball, and Tatum just got a piece. Great competitor, Dave Bush. Chris Bosio was talking about him earlier today. You know, he is a very nice guy and as pleasant to be around as you could ever find. But when it's his day to pitch, he's a different kind of guy. Ultra competitive.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. In a good way, Mr. Hyde.
It's good to have him back. The Brewers have missed him dearly. He has been a guy that has anchored that starting rotation. He, along with Giovanni Gallardo, basically the top 2 in the rotation while he was in the rotation the first couple of months. A little lazy fly ball to Braun, who's coming in, and he's got it for the out. Craig Tatum retired, first out of his 3rd inning.
And a good pitch by Bush. A little off-speed pitch. Looked like he had a cut on it. And Tatum out in front. Good command of all of his pitches so far. Key day is tomorrow for Dave Bush. How's he going to feel after his start? It's one thing to get all heated up and oiled up, you're ready to pitch. It's just a matter of how he's going to feel tomorrow. That's always been the issue with this injury for Bush.
Fatigue has been a factor, as that injury he suffered on a line drive that hit him on the back of the elbow, up more into the tricep area, lower tricep, and the muscle in there was pressed between the baseball and the bone, and it literally spread the muscle thin, and it was a long recovery for Dave Bush to finally get back. What was amazing about Bush is the fact not only did he continue to pitch in that game, which was one of the most impressive feats of the season. That was a game where the Brewers bullpen was completely exhausted, and Maka had no other options. Bush said, I'm fine, I can pitch, and he was able to continue on and pitch 4 more innings in that game, and then he made 3 more starts after that.
It just wasn't the same, though. I mean, pretty much blew up his earned run average.
Bush gave up 16 earned runs in 11 1/3 innings after he was hit by that line drive, which is why you look at his numbers, a 3-4 record and a 5.67 ERA, and you kind of toss him out the window. Not indicative of how he's pitched this year, as he strikes out Justin Lear for out number 2. 3rd strikeout for Bush.
Yeah, there was a stretch early in the season where the Brewers had won 6 consecutive Dave Bush starts. And able to dot the I on the outside corner on Justin Lear. And the amazing start for me, for Dave Bush, was that start in Philadelphia where he took that no-hitter into the 8th inning. I mean, against a Philly team that is probably amongst the best in baseball, offensively and in that ballpark. Surrenders a lot of home runs, a lot of runs, and he was tremendous in that start.
It was the signature moment of the year for Bush. So close to a no-hitter. Just 6 weeks after that, this was the injury in Miami, the line drive right off his elbow. Hanley Ramirez, the league's leading hitter. We thought at that moment he was coming out, and the Brewers, we weren't sure who was going to pitch, and probably going to end up with a position player on the mound at some point.
As you said, that was about 3 starts before that were very short starts by the rotation, and the Brewers bullpen was in dire straits.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Stubbs. And that one is launched into left. Braun backing up, and he's got it for the out. 3 up, 3 down inning for Dave Bush. He has retired 8 in a row and 9 out of 10. And the big man is coming up. Prince will lead off when we continue. As we play in the bottom of the 3rd inning, Justin Lear back on the mound. He allowed 4 runs in the first. Fielder got him for a 3-run homer in the 1st inning. And Prince with his 35th home run of the season, surpassing his total from last year. Fielder had 34 homers, 102 RBIs a season ago. Now 35 homers and 115 runs batted in. The most runs he's driven in a season was his 50 homer season of 07. He drove in 119. Prince leading all of baseball in runs batted in. He and Braun in the top 4 in the National League.
I think the thing that Prince is most proud of, though, is his .306 batting average right now. He's always seen himself as a guy that can hit 300, and has a pretty good shot at it this year.
Fielder's highest batting average was .288. That was the year he hit 50. .276 last year. Hit .288 in 07.
Say that's a good batting average. I mean, in the 270s, 280s, almost 290 with all the run production that he puts up, the home runs, RBIs, extra base hits. That's a special group that he's in as far as a hitter. I mean, well-rounded hitter. Can do it all.
Well, Prince hit a moonshot last night. I mean, this was a jaw dropper. Look at Corky Miller's reaction behind the plate. And then in the first inning today, didn't even really square it up, and still strong enough to knock it out of here.
And was concerned about not having batting practice today. Got over that disappointment quickly, didn't he?
Fielder walks. Third walk allowed by Justin Lear. Fielder's 35 homers at the top of the list for the Brewers. The Powerball home run leaderboard.
You know, there are times when a manager or hitting coach will just lock up the batting cage and say, boys, we're not doing anything today. We're gonna save our strength and go out there and just go out and get them without any real warm-up. And sometimes it works. You change up that routine a little bit. Just what it takes.
Makes it feel different.
Right.
You know, it makes the day feel different. Because after all, as great of a gig as it is to be a Major League Baseball player, you still do it every single day, and it's the same repetition and routine. And you'll see managers switch it up quite often just to make it feel unusual. Especially when you're not winning, when you're not playing well. Do something different to change it up. I mean, I do that. You know, when the team's having a tough time, or maybe take a different route to the ballpark. Break out some new shirts. Yeah. Well, no, I wouldn't do that. I got my stable of about 10 I like. The rest of them stay in the closet. Repurposing. Especially on the road. Casey flares one into right. And Valentin's got it for out number one. I draw the line at spending money. You know, if I'm not going to spend money on. Well, yesterday, you know, I needed a haircut, got a free one from D. Felice. And you engaged a lot of personnel to get that free haircut, but at the end of the day, you're walking out of here with a haircut. That's right. Cost everybody a lot of effort, but I still got a free haircut. A lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of cleanup. Yeah, it's okay. Never did ask you how the hair removal system worked yesterday. Did you actually place something underneath? It towels down. I personally got down on my hands and knees and picked up little pieces of hair. Little pieces of gray hairs everywhere? Everywhere. That's just the way the light is in there, Rock. Yesterday, Rock got a haircut from Mark D. Felice, Brewers pitcher, who has quite a skill. And I was amazed that he said he cuts his own hair and he does it without a mirror. Right. Does it by feel. It's amazing. Very stylish. Maybe you should try that. Break out the Flow Bee. Remember the Flow Bee? What's that? The Flow Bee. Remember the Flow Bee? It's like a big vacuum that had clippers on the end. You just buzz it across your hair and they wouldn't go anywhere. You just suck them right up, huh? Right. It's the Flow Bee. Flow Bee. Maybe we'll have to look into that. I think Billy Mays used to promote the Flow Bee. The late Billy Mays. Two and two the count on Cameron. Cameron almost knocked one out of here in the first inning. Had a double to center. Missed it by a couple of feet. He's got Fielder at first with one away. And that one is on the corner for a called third strike. Two outs. Our carsoup.com email the booth question comes from Ken Tracy in Eau Claire. Heading into September, who would you feel the best team in baseball is right now? I think maybe the best team in the National League at this point would probably be the Colorado Rockies, I would think. Or the Cardinals. Cardinals and Rockies. I'll tell you, Rockies 3 games back. Lost last night, but they're hanging tough with the Dodgers. Got a 3-game lead in a wild card. They get off to a horrible start. Well, the Yankees have the best record and certainly have the pitching. I mean, they are primed for the postseason. The Yankees have a 6-game lead over Boston. 32 games over 500. The Yankees. Man. And armed and ready with some of the best pitchers in baseball together on one staff. Mike Rivera singles. So the Brewer catcher comes up with a base hit. And runners at first and second for the Crew.
Yeah, breaking ball again, hung up in the strike zone. That was a curveball that stayed about a belt high. Mike Rivera had to wait back and hit it back through center field. Good at bat by Rivera.
Yeah, textbook hitting there. Kept his hands back and hit it where it was pitched.
Those hanging curveballs, I tell you, you can make a lot of mistakes up there at the plate, but those hanging curveballs have a tendency to get hit hard every time.
Now it's Dave Bush. Bush rolled out his last time up to end the first inning. A 4-run first for the Brewers. Bush no batting gloves, just like he chops wood. I thought that was kind of a wives' tale, you know, that Bush chopped wood in the offseason, but that's his workout.
Yeah,
he literally chops wood to stay in shape.
Have you ever chopped wood?
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, it works out a lot of muscles.
You just don't see many big leaguers chopping wood.
Right.
That's how Mickey Mantle said he gained all of his strength. You know, he chopped wood since he was old enough to remember, and he grew up chopping wood, and that's why his hands were so strong.
As long as you stay away from the chainsaw, I think you're going to be all right.
There's some kind of chainsaw clause in the contract.
Don't let that thing get away from you.
Now Bush down on strikes. The inning is over. But the Brewers lead 4-0, and Dave Bush with 3 scoreless innings.
Run home run is 35th. He will collect RBIs 113, 14, and 15, giving the Brewers a 3-run lead. Dave Bush in his return has been solid, allowing just 1 base runner, courtesy of walk through 3 innings. Bush has 3 strikeouts, and this is the best case scenario playing out in his return, guys, because he gets an opportunity to regain the feel for big league tempo and do it while pitching ahead with a 4-run lead.
That's right, Telly, and if Bush continues like this, Ken Maka is going to have another dilemma to deal with once he approaches his 80 pitch limit, because Maka had hoped he could give him 5 or 6, 5 most likely, but 80 pitches would be the number he'd be paying the most attention to. Right now Bush has thrown 47 pitches. He's been very economical, and he's only given up the 1 walk. He's retired 9 of 10 to start this game. And the only base runner was Paul Janish's walk in the first inning. Giannis leads off here in the fourth. And he drives one into the gap. And he's going to go to the wall. Giannis on his way to second. And he'll stop there with a double. So Giannis has been aboard twice. And the Reds finally have their first hit.
Man, he is a very slick fielding shortstop. A bit challenged at the plate. He was up there last night with the bases loaded and 2 outs and watched 3 fastballs go right by him. Ended up striking out. Jumping on a fastball that time by Bush out over the plate and driving one into the right center field gap. Leadoff base runner for the first time for the Reds.
So here is Joey Votto. Votto struck out in the first. And what has been the best sequence for Dave Bush in this game? Fell behind Votto and then started carving him up on the inside corner. He threw 3 different pitches, all in the same location to strike him out.
You almost have to force this guy to pull the baseball. He's so good at going to center field and around the left. Out over the plate, very dangerous.
And still unable to square up on a pitch on the inner half. And it's 1-1, and I suspect Bush and Rivera will stay in there. And that's really what you'd like to accomplish. You want to get Votto thinking about the inner half.
Yep. And stay in there and keep throwing fastball a little bit further inside. See if he's going to chase him.
Runner at second. Nobody out in the fourth inning. And Votto late on that one. 83-mile-an-hour pitch, and Votto takes it right off the handle.
And he's starting to talk to himself. Feeling as though he had a couple of pitches to hit so far today and just not able to get the barrel on it. I mean, so committed to hitting the ball to the opposite field. I mean, that's what you do to a guy that is so good to left and left center. You make him pull it. And then later on in the game, you start throwing him away, and then you really have him confused.
Rivera jumps in there. And Bush almost hit the corner. That was a good pitch.
One thing you don't want to do when you have a guy up there that has been late on a fastball in, you don't want to do him a favor thinking that you're going to trick him away, because that's what he's looking for. That's why he's not able to pull that pitch in on him.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Rivera sets up away this time, and Bush just misses. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Couple of close pitches.
It's been a tight strike zone so far by Darryl Cousins. It really has been. Last night, Bill Miller was given the low end of the strike zone. It doesn't appear that Darryl Cousins is given much anywhere.
Full count to Votto. Reds have a leadoff runner aboard at second base. And Votto sends one deep to right center field. That one is going to bounce off the wall. Giannis will score, and Votto is in with a double, and the Reds are on the board in the fourth inning.
Now, the difference in that pitch is that it was down. It was in, but it was down. I mean, Bush was very effective when he got the ball up and in on Votto. That ball down and in, lefties able to drop the head of the bat on it, particularly right-handed throwing left-handed hitters. That's their power. See where that ball ended up, down and in. Votto able to pop the hips open and hit it hard into right center. So Cincinnati on the board with nobody out.
Well, it's interesting to watch both competitors change their approach and adjust on the fly here, Votto and Dave Bush. And Votto ends up squaring up on one. That's why he's such a good hitter. And that's why he's a 300 hitter. You hit 300 at this point of the year in the big leagues, you've got a special set of skills.
And he's very good against lefties. He hits left-handers very well, just like Prince Fielder.
Quick trip to the mound for Chris Bosio. Back-to-back doubles to start the fourth. Reds have a run in. And Bush still looking for his first out. Here's Brandon Phillips. All 4 runs for the Brewers came in the first inning. Fielder belted a 3-run homer. Mike Cameron had an RBI double. Reds are finally on the board here in the 4th. Bush did not allow a hit through the first 3 innings and only 1 walk. One and 2 on Phillips. Phillips with 77 RBIs. Does not have one in this series. He did have a couple of hits in that 13-inning game on Tuesday. He was 2 for 7 at the plate that day. Yesterday, Phillips was hitless, 0 for 5, but he did line out twice.
Hey, knock on wood, but the Brewer pitching staff has handled him fairly well. That won't last forever.
1 and 2 to Phillips. Votto at second. And a bouncer to Escobar. Got to play the tough hop. But a good throw to get Phillips for out number 1. And Votto cannot advance.
Yeah, good pitch by Bush. A little sinker that was down in the strike zone. That's where you have to pitch Phillips. He likes the ball up. Not able to hit it to the right side and advance Votto to third base. Had a pitch to do it, but it was down and he hooked it. He pulled it to short. Escobar got a little bit tangled up in his footwork there.
Well, 1 gone for Bush. Scott Rowland at the plate for Cincinnati. And he rolls one to Escobar, and Votto has to retreat again. 2 gone in the inning. A couple of ground outs to Escobar. Votto still standing at second base. And that leads us to our Aflac trivia this afternoon. Who are the 4 active members of the Brewers to have played for the Reds? Good question. 4 active Brewers. Well, you know David Weathers. He was just picked up in a trade with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Todd Coffey was there. Well, think about the other 2.
You're giving them all away.
Just the obvious ones. You think I should stop?
Enough.
Okay. I'm not sure I know. I got to think about this a minute. Vladimir Valentin with 2 outs. Well, this would be something that Bush could get out of this inning with just 1 run after back-to-back doubles to start the inning. 0-2 the count on Valentin.
That's good cut fastball. Boy, that's good command. All of his pitches have been right where he wants them. Been very impressive so far today.
Bush has 3 strikeouts. He's given up 1 walk and 2 hits. Valentin, a free swinger at the plate. Bush has him set up 0-2. Good block by Rivera. Valentin lays off. Bush has a good curveball, and he uses his curveball as a change of pace as well. It's an interesting pitch that he throws. That was more of the biting curveball, but every now and then he'll break out that 65-mile-an-hour gravity ball and disrupts the timing just enough.
Yeah, anytime you can throw your curveball 2 different speeds, that's 2 different pitches that hitter has to be aware of. So instead of having 4, you've got 5 or 6 when you change speeds.
Also throws a cut fastball. That was the cutter there. Bush really struggled last year trying to find a changeup. Worked hard at a changeup for the first half of the season. and pitched so poorly that he was actually sent down to AAA to work on his stuff and his mechanics. He came back using his curveball as a changeup, and he's been a different pitcher since. Fastball just missed. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Ballantine.
Had him full, but just missed the corner. Had him leaning out over the plate for something away. Busted him inside, but a little bit off the plate.
Full count, 2 outs. Votto at second. And a pop-up. Had him off balance. Escobar makes the call, now gives way to Braun. And Braun, an easy catch. Good job, Dave Bush. Only 1 run in on back-to-back doubles.
Check in with the crew in the community. Manny Vara and Northwestern Mutual invite you to drop off school supplies August 28th through the 30th during the Brewers Drive for Charity. Receive a Manny Vara pen with donation. For complete details, call 414-902-4000. And guys, it's official. It's that time of year again where students will head back to the classroom.
That's happening. Happening quickly next week, Tuesday, for most kids in Wisconsin. And we want to say hi to Mike Faulkner, our stats man. He's back at work today, back in school. Phi Ed teacher. We have quite a replacement today in John Steinmiller, though. We're glad to have him. And we want to send a special hello to all those teachers, either watching, maybe watching the game today. There's John. Second best stats man in all of baseball.
Steiner did a nice job on the road trip.
His win-loss total was, you know, neither here nor there.
That's not his fault, though. But I mean, he entertained the troops. He was very, very easy to get along with. That's not something we're used to. Just kidding, Mike.
Escobar pulls one foul.
Media relations man, Mike Vasallo. We'd like to get on him from time to time. Great guys, all of them.
There's Ken Spindler.
There's Mike right there.
And Mike Vasallo. Probably complaining about something, but overall in good spirits. Mike Vasallo spent a lot of time in Appleton while we were gone, checking out the single A club. Our guys. Not sure they're watching. Actually, they're watching wrestling today.
Honky Tonk Man on.
Escobar into center field. And Stubbs makes a catch for the out. That's a little alarming, isn't it? not even live wrestling, but classic wrestling. the kind that Bernie Brewer could be a part of. Aflac trivia. Who are the 4 active members of the Brewers to have played for the Reds?
Well, we know 2 of them.
Okay.
Weathers and Coffey, Lopez, and Mike Cameron.
There you go. Cameron was there just 1 year. Felipe Lopez was an all-star in Cincinnati back in '05. Cameron was there in '99. He was traded from the White Sox to the Reds for Paul Konerko, and then he was shipped to the Mariners. One gone in the 4th inning. And Lopez down on strikes. How about our U.S. Cellular text to vote question? They don't have this on Classic Wrestling. Should Pete Rose be reinstated into baseball? That is our question for you. Let's hear your responses. 234-234 is the short code. Just punch in W for yes, X for no. And we'll have the final results on Sunday. The Hit King, Pete Rose. Should he be reinstated into baseball? Jody Garrett with 2 outs. Lear has 3 punch outs. The Brewers scored all of their runs in the 1st inning as Garrett sends one to left. Johnny Gomes makes the play. A 1-2-3 inning for Justin Lear. 4-1. Oh, back on the game. Nicely done. Park. Roof is closed today. A rainy afternoon, cool and rainy here on August 27th. All 4 runs in the 1st. The Brewers have made it hold up. Dave Bush is pitching well and really had to grind one out in the 4th inning. Back-to-back doubles by the Reds to start the 4th inning, and Bush managed to get through it. He retired the next 3 in order, and the Reds unable to add on. So Bush is pitching well. 4 innings, 1 run. He's given up just 2 hits. Has 3 strikeouts, and he's issued 1 walk. First ball swinging is Johnny Gomes. Routine play for Cameron. Want to remind you, it's time to get your registrations in for Fantasy Camp. We'd love to have you join us in Phoenix, Arizona at the end of January and the first week of February. Beautiful weather in Phoenix. You can escape the cold and play a little baseball. All you have to do is call 262-679-3612 or log on to the web at brewers.com/fantasycamp. and be a part of it. Bill Schroeder, your camp coordinator.
Yeah, it's starting to fill up. We've got a number of spots available, but they're going fast.
Only so much room in the locker rooms, right?
Right, yeah.
Only so many lockers.
Well, we try not to have too many, campers down there. You want to have that one-on-one, get to know all the coaches, and I try and get to know everybody by their first names. And you get too many, everybody gets lost in the shuffle. Keep it to about 60 or 70 is about the best number.
I know the players are always encouraging fans to participate in fantasy camp. Kind of gives you a good perspective.
Right.
It's easy to forget how hard the game is to play.
Fantasy campers always tell me they boo less after going to fantasy camp when they come to Miller Park.
That's the truth.
They realize how difficult the game is. That's for sure. It's a lot of fun, though. You have a good time down there.
It really is a good time. Hope you'll be with us this year. 3 balls and a strike on Craig Tatum, backup catcher. Tatum flew out to left field in the 3rd inning. Tatum got a little playing time last night. Ryan Hannigan, their everyday catcher, on the disabled list after a concussion. So Tatum and Corky Miller sharing the catching duties right now for Dusty Baker. This Reds lineup just a shell of what it looked like at the beginning of the season. And usually you think about the Reds, and the first thought that comes to mind is Junior and Adam Dunn. Those two traded away last year. Kind of a rebuilding mode. The Reds thought they were going to compete this season with a great pitching staff.
Help raise money for your favorite Brewers players charities during the Brewers Charities Bobblehead Raffles presented by Fox Sports Wisconsin. Sunday, August 30th is Jeff Suppan Bobblehead Day. Go to the raffle table anytime through the 4th inning. And with every $5 donation, you'll have the chance to take home great prizes. All proceeds will be donated to the Brewers Charities to support military causes. Go to brewers.com/bobble-raffle for more details.
2 outs, and Justin Lear, the Reds pitcher, will hit. Lear has settled down on the mound. He gave up the 4 runs in the first, but nothing since. And coming off a 3-up, 3-down inning at the bottom of the 4th.
And Brewers continue that trend of having that big inning. They come up with a big inning and not able to keep that pressure on. Last couple of days. Matter of fact, it's been throughout this homestand so far, first 3 games. A 3-run inning yesterday, a 6-run inning first game of this series, and 4 today in the first.
1-2 to Lear, and a breaking ball missed. This 5th inning is going to take Dave Bush right up to the 80 pitch count. But really, other than the 4th inning when he had to make some stressful pitches with men in scoring position, Bush has been pretty comfortable out there. Question is, does he get another inning? As Lear pops it foul, that'll slice into the seats.
The thing that helped in that 4th inning after that Votto double, I think it was about 4 pitches he was able to get Phillips and Rowland. It took 3 pitches to get Phillips, and then Rowland grounded out on the first pitch. That saved the pitch count, at least so far, for Dave.
Over 2 months on the disabled list, Bush returning to the major leagues for the first time since June 20th. Here today. 2-2. Just missed inside. So a full count to the pitcher. And Lear hanging tough. Lear has a couple of hits this year. He's 2 for 12 in the big leagues. Bush struck him out looking in the 3rd inning. Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder, and Casey McGee due up, and Lear fouls another one away.
Yeah, a couple of fastballs up in the zone, giving Lear an opportunity to foul him off. Those pitches down. You got to figure that Bush got to be getting about fatigued a little bit. 82 pitches as we stand here in the 5th inning.
Another 3-2, and Lear lays off. Boy, that's a pretty good at bat by an opposing pitcher. So Bush issues his second walk, and now back to the top of the order, and Drew Stubbs.
Interesting choice of pitches there. A big breaking pitch, and Justin Lear able to lay off of it. Well, no activity in that Brewer bullpen, so Chris Bosio might be going out there just to give Bush an opportunity to take a breath.
Just as Bosio heads to the mound, Mark DeFelice gets loose. So Bush right at the end of his line today. You'd like to see him get through this 5th. It would give him an opportunity to win, but more importantly, it would give the Brewers 5 strong innings from a guy just coming off the disabled list. Bush has pitched well, but he is into the zone of concern here with a pitch count. Top of the order, here's Drew Stubbs with a runner at first. And a line drive base hit. So just like that, the Reds will bring the tying run to the plate.
You can see Bush having a tough time getting the ball down. You know what that means. Ordinarily, Bush was down in the strike zone most of the game, but starting to elevate his pitches. That cut fastball up, was on the outer half of the plate, and a nice swing by Stubbs to hit the line drive into center field. Start throwing pitches up in the strike zone means you're getting tired.
Well, this will probably be the final hitter for Dave Bush. You've got Joey Votto coming up next. And no chance Maka leaves Bush out there if Votto bats in this inning. Paul Janisch representing the tying run. Bush starts him with strike one.
You got DeFelice down in the bullpen, and ordinarily Maka does not like to use DeFelice against lefties.
Two on with two out, a walk and a single with two away for Cincinnati. And Giannis sends one to left. That's well hit. Braun is back. He looks up, and it's off the wall. 2 runs are going to score. Giannis is in there with a double, a 2 RBI double for Paul Giannis. And the Reds are right back in it. It's 4-3 Milwaukee.
Boy, all started with a walk to the pitcher. He was able to get the first 2 outs relatively easily, but you know, a walk to Justin Lear opens the floodgates. Back-to-back hits by Stubbs and Giannis. Paul Giannis clears the bases on a ball down and in. Able to pop the hips open and hit it over Ryan's head and left to score 2 runs. Now it's a 4-3 game.
And with a base open at first, Votto will be intentionally walked. So the tying run now at second.
You walk Votto and probably now bring in DeFelice. Looks like Bush is just about at his end.
Well, he was a strike away with the pitcher at the plate from getting out of the inning.
Had a 1-2 count. Not able to put him away.
And that is a move that Ken Maka did not want to have to make. So Bush just running out of gas here in the 5th. And Maka will make the change. So here comes Mark DeFelice. Dave Bush goes 4 2/3 innings, and right now he's given up 3 runs, 2 runners still on base. His responsibility, and he leads to a nice hand from this crowd at Miller Park. Well, we talked to Ken Maka earlier today, not only about his short bench, but his short bullpen as well, and how he manages around the shortcomings.
We've got to have the pitching. That's number one. We knew that coming into this series, Suppan and Bush both probably would be short. So mandatory thing is to get the starter out there so that you don't have to pinch hit for him in the 5th inning. That's kind of what happened with Suppan. Still saved some guys. We got in position to win that game in the 9th inning, and had that happened, we would not have had a problem. But I still held one guy back. That was Escobar. Lopez hurts his toe. We've got no position players, so we got some pitchers hitting there. So that kind of shortens you up, but circumstances happen. You know, you got to put everything out there you can in that 9th inning to try to tie the game, which we did, and had a chance to win. And if you are short later on, you know, at least you're giving yourself a shot to win.
Yeah, big risk when you have 13 pitchers on your pitching staff. That means you're short on the bench. Somebody gets hurt, you have to use your only other catcher, and you know, sometimes you really put yourself in a bind, particularly when you go to extra innings. Todd Coffey had to lead off an inning, and then you had Gallardo made the last out of the game. And you know, if you're sitting there with 11 or 12 pitches, that's not the case. You've got position players. The Reds, for instance, they've got 6 guys on their bench. I mean, they have plenty of pitchers or position players to go through, as pinch hitters, and that certainly did hurt the Brewers in that extra inning game on Tuesday night.
Well, it was a fast start for the Brewers. They got 4 in the first, and a nice early lead, but Dave Bush kind of running out of steam here at the end in his first start in a couple of months. So DeFelice takes over. 54th appearance of the year for Mark DeFelice, and he faces Brandon Phillips, Cincinnati's best run producer, with the tying run at second, the go-ahead run at first. 2 runs are in the 5th. Giannis drives in a pair on a double, and DeFelice starts Phillips with strike 1. Reds got a run on the 4th on a double and an RBI from Votto, and 2 here in the 5th on a Giannis double to left.
Brewers have been very effective in getting Phillips out on pitches down in the zone. And DeFelice's first 2 pitches upstairs. That's dangerous with that guy at the plate.
Phillips has 17 home runs, 77 driven in, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Mark DeFelice turned 33 years of age on Sunday. Made his major league debut last year at the age of 31. Long, hard road to get to the big leagues, but he found a pitch in the Mexican League, the cut fastball. That's the pitch that Phillips just swings and misses at. Changed his career, changed his life.
And 95% of his pitches are going to be that cut fastball. That's what makes him so effective against right-handed hitters.
The 2-2, and Phillips lines one to right. Garrett able to cut it off. A runner's going to score to tie the game, but Brandon Phillips with a double and an RBI, and the Reds have come all the way back, and it's all even at 4 apiece.
We were talking about that cut fastball's got to be down in the zone. It's been up, and that's why Phillips able to hit it down the right field line. It was away, but it was up around the belt. Check out the location. And Phillips able to get on top of it and hit it hard down the line. Get that ball down, it might be a ground ball, not a line drive. Phillips too good a hitter to be held down all series.
Giannis, who drove in the 2 runs, scores the tying run, and now second and third with Scott Rowland at the plate.
Only 2 outs and nobody on. The pitcher coming up. You feel pretty good about the inning, but the walk to Justin Lear, and the Brewers just not able to get that 3rd out.
5 consecutive batters have reached base for the Reds, and Rolen makes it 6 in a row. And this is going to play 2 runs. Cincinnati has the lead. They have scored 5 runs in this inning.
What's happened to this game? Man alive.
6-4 Reds. Rolen drives in a pair with a single. At 2 outs and a 1-2 count on the pitcher with nobody on.
Another cut fastball. Another pitch up in the strike zone. This one down the middle. And Rolen able to hit it hard into center field. So a 5 spot here in the 5th for Cincinnati with 2 outs and nobody on.
And the 9th man to bat in the inning. The Reds have 6 hits, 4 of them doubles. And that cut fastball continues to stay up in the strike zone. A dangerous spot for DeFelice. Six consecutive base runners, 4 hits and 2 walks. Valentine chases one. It's 0-2. Inning started with a 4-1 Brewers lead. 5 in for the Reds. It's 6-4 Cincinnati. You got Braun and Fielder to start the bottom of the 5th. Escobar wants it, and this one finally comes to an end. All of the damage done with 2 outs. 5 runs in for the Reds. Now Braun set to lead off. He'll be followed by Fielder, then McGee. Brewers down a pair. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. All right, well, the Brewers have to start all over again. They are down 2, had 2 outs and the pitcher at the plate in a 2-strike count in the top of this 5th inning, and yet the Reds end up scoring 5 runs, all with 2 away. It started with a walk to the pitcher, Justin Lear. 6 consecutive batters reached for the Reds. 6 runs on the board now, and it's 6-4 Cincinnati. Braun, Fielder, and McGee to start it. All of a sudden, Dave Bush, who was a strike away from a potential win, is now on the hook for the loss. Braun singled and scored in the first. He was aboard when Fielder belted a 3-run homer.
meantime, after the first inning, Justin Lear has been pretty good. 4-run first and zeros on the board since. Looked like it was going to be an early exit for Justin Lear, but he's been able to turn it around.
And Lear's given up just 2 hits since the first inning and only the 1 walk. Has 3 strikeouts as well. 1-2 to Braun. Slices one foul and out of play. Ball and 2 strikes to Braun. And he fouls another one off. This one will stay playable, and Votto makes the catch for out number 1. Now, talking about the production from Braun and Fielder this year, 208 RBIs total. Fielder leads all of baseball with 115, and the nearest competitor, Ryan Howard and Chase Utley of the Phillies, at 189. And then Pujols and Ludwig with the Cardinals. Top tandem in all of baseball. And the Brewers are going to need him again today. Fielder's already delivered with a 3-run homer. His 35th of the year. Dusty Baker puts the big shift on for Prince. Prince homering in consecutive games.
And continues to be patient. A couple of pitches off the outside corner. Walked his last time up. Prince Fielder knocking on the door to those 100 walks.
He will become the first in franchise history to do it.
Prince now at 85 walks.
Well, as a team, the Brewers have the second highest walk to at bat percentage. Only the Rockies have walked more per at bat. So overall a patient team, but being led by Fielder. Gets under 1. That'll stay in the ballpark. 2 up and 2 down as Lear has retired Braun and Fielder.
Applejack's Bar and Grill in Marinette is today's Tavern of the Game winner if they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. 902-4572. Applejack's Bar and Grill gets 40 tickets to a 2009 Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Two going for Casey McGee. Cincinnati with a 5-run 5th. All 6 of their runs have come in the last 2 innings. As McGee hammers one to Giannis. Side retired, a 1-2-3 inning for Justin Lear. All of a sudden he's retired 7 in a row. Dayton Daily News. Been covering the Cincinnati Reds for a long, long time. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2003, and Hal McCoy is retiring. So this will be his final stop in Milwaukee. And there's Adam McCalvey, Tom Hodge Report, Brewers beat writers, with some parting gifts for Mr. McCoy, one of the legends of baseball.
Yeah, been at it a long time. Good guy. He's seen it all, hadn't he? Been there through the good times and the bad for Cincinnati.
Now the Reds get a leadoff hit from Johnny Gomes. So Cincinnati now with 7 hits. Bush had a no-hitter going through the first 3. He had given up just 1 walk. Bush ends up with 4 2/3 innings, 5 runs all earned. Talk about a deceptive line. But could not get the final out in the 5th inning.
Now just got tired and couldn't get the ball down in the strike zone. That's what happens. It's just amazing. You have 2 outs and nobody on. You're feeling pretty good. It's going to be a quick inning and
get the pitcher up.
1-2 count, and look what's happened. I mean, after that, a lot of damage by the Reds. Get to that top of the order and they just couldn't get that 3rd out.
There's probably a large group of people that said, you know what, this is a good time to go to the restroom or the concession stand. I can get back before Braun hits.
Right.
By the time they get back, the Reds have 5 runs on the board. It happened that fast. Brewers led 4-1. Cincinnati bringing 6 consecutive batters to reach base in a row. And a 5-run 5th. And that one's hit well to center field. Cameron will run it down. Out number 1. Well, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Brewers. Baseball elsewhere, the Mets leading big on the Marlins today. 10-3 is the score right now as that one heads to the bottom of the 9th inning. They've had a ton of home runs in that game. Richie Coughlin has a couple of homers. Ugla with his 23rd. Pagan and Tatis have homered for the Mets. Florida's right there in the picture for the wild card. The Marlins start the day 4.5 back of the Rockies in the wild card race. Colorado has a 3-game lead on the Giants. Colorado is hosting Los Angeles today. The Dodgers have Vicente Padilla starting this game today. He was picked up by the Rangers. The Rangers released him. Dodgers pick him up, and now he is squarely in a pennant race. Los Angeles won last night and back to a 3-game lead in the West. Dodgers lead 2-0 in the 3rd inning in Colorado. Matt Kemp is homered.
As if the Dodgers need any pitching help. Tied with the Giants for the best team earned run average in the National League at 3.52.
There's a lot of questions about Padilla and his off-field antics, but if there's anybody that can handle it, it's Joe Torre, and
he's made a career of handling that, huh? The sideshow that is baseball sometimes, keeping that out of the clubhouse and in the dugout.
Cardinals have regained the lead against Houston in St. Louis. Matt Holliday is homered, and it's 3-2 Cardinals as they play in the 7th inning. Carpenter has just given up 2 runs. Fielder's got it, puts the tag on Lear. Out number 2, but Lear a sacrifice bunt, advancing Gomes to second base. Well, Saturday afternoons were made for baseball, and this week Fox brings you the national game of the week. It's the Mets and the Cubs. Fox Saturday Baseball this week at 3 p.m. Central Time, only on Fox. Washington leads Chicago 5-3. Nationals on top of the Cubs in the 6th inning at Wrigley. Bunch of home runs in that game too. Adam Dunn is homered. He now has 34. Ryan Zimmerman with his 27th.
Those Nats just continue to pound the baseball.
There's nothing wrong with their offense.
No, they can hit.
Cubs have homers from Derek Lee and Aramis Ramirez today.
I had a shot of Dusty Baker. Talking about sideshows in baseball. He's dealt with a couple, hadn't he? Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa.
Was a manager of the year in San Francisco. Took the Giants to the World Series. Dusty managed the Giants, the Cubs, and he spent a year in television. And now in his 2nd year with the Reds. Managing post Cubs, unlike Lou Piniella. Piniella says when his run is over in Chicago, he's done. He's going fishing.
I think he said that when he was done with Tampa too.
Yeah, and even Seattle.
Yeah. Okay.
And possibly Cincinnati.
New York.
Well, Piniella managed the Reds to a world title. Went wire to wire that year, Cincinnati. First place from day one or after game one till the World Series, and a huge upset win, if there is such a thing in baseball, over the Oakland Athletics.
Tough to get the game out of your system. You have good intentions of retiring, but it's tough to do.
Base hit to center. Cameron on a hop, fires to the plate. Throw is off the mark. Everybody advances. Another run scores, and it's 7-4 Cincinnati as Drew Stubbs drives in a run with a hit.
Well, the sacrifice bunt by the pitcher, Justin Lear. He certainly pitched in today, not only on the mound, but at the plate. That walk to open up the 5th. The sacrifice bunt, a pretty good piece of hitting with 2 strikes by Stubbs, just reaching out. It's going to remind you of that Richie Sexton type swing. Big, tall kid, a lot of arms in his swing, and able to reach out and hit it hard into center field with not much of a swing.
Stubbs with just his 2nd big league RBI, has 2 hits today. And all of a sudden the Reds have 7 runs on 8 hits. Did not have a hit until the 4th. Paul Janisch had a big hit back in the 5th inning. Drove in 2 runs with a double. And 2 hits today, both for extra bases. He's been on base all 3 times at the plate. One and 2 with 2 outs. Got him. Inning over, but Cincinnati adds to their lead. 7-4 Reds as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Wisconsin Lottery and its family of instant scratch games. Odds are you'll like them. By Airtran. Go. There's nothing stopping you. And by Aflac. We've got you under our wing. Beautiful Miller Park on a rainy day in Wisconsin. Great to have the roof. This would have been one of those games where you'd be battling rain delays. Tarp would have been out a few times already. Instead, it's just raining hits for the Reds here lately. 7 runs on 8 hits for Cincinnati. All 7 of their runs have come in the last 3 innings, and the Brewers have to play catch up once again. Milwaukee with a 4-run first. It was a great start. Dave Bush went 3 scoreless innings. And, the offense providing 4 early runs. Fielder had a 3-run homer in the first. But all things changed in the 5th when the Reds scored 5 runs with 2 outs in the 5th inning.
Justin Lair has really done a nice job mixing it up and keeping the baseball down and keeping the Brewer hitters off balance. Didn't start out that way.
Now, Justin Lear was probably a hit away from being taken out of this game in the first inning. 8 men batted in the first for the Brewers. Cameron had an RBI double in that first. He's down on strikes. Second time Lear has struck him out.
That changeup down and in.
Toyota game summary. The Brewers and the Reds wrapping up this 3-game series. And Milwaukee trying to salvage one. Fielder belted his 35th homer of the year in the first. 3-run shot. Paul Janisch had a big hit. Drove in a pair of runs as part of that 5-run 5th inning. Phillips was able to tie it with a double and an RBI, and then Scott Rowland put the Reds on top with a single and 2 runs batted in.
Cincinnati last couple of innings have been taking advantage of some pitches up in the zone. Every one of those highlights, the hits by the Reds, you know, around the belt, can't get away with that.
Mike Rivera singled his last time up. Catalanato is on deck. He'll hit for DeFelice. And Chris Narveson will pitch the 7th. Pirates in town tomorrow. Pittsburgh here at Miller Park, starting a 3-game series. Pirates swept the Brewers on the most recent road trip, so Milwaukee would love to return the favor.
Yeah, the Pirates 20 games under 500 and having a miserable time on the road. 18-43 away from PNC Park. Pirates actually above 500 at home.
Pirates are hosting Philadelphia tonight. Jay Happ and Charlie Morton will match up. Happ's been a big surprise for the Phillies and might be your rookie of the year. He and Tommy Hanson have a chance at that rookie of the year, you would think. Happ is 10-2. 2 up, 2 down on a couple of strikeouts. Time now for our text question of the night, brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin. Joe wants to know, do you think Ricky Weeks will be 100% by spring training next year? Absolutely.
Yeah, he'll be ready to go. No question about that.
Ricky feels like he could play right now.
I'm just going to say, Ricky feels as though he'd like to try to get back in the game this year. That's not going to happen based on how things have been going so far. Why risk it?
Well, it's been brought up, not by the Brewers, but by the media and by us. We're wondering if Ricky might go into some kind of rehab. You know, does he go to an instructional league?
No.
But you know, spring training,
Why
so
do that?
much time. You have so much time.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
To get ready for a season. Why would you risk another injury?
You want to give Ricky as much time as you possibly can for that wrist to heal 100%. So there's no ill effects whatsoever going into spring training.
And he's doing his drills here. You know, his baseball drills, everything but swinging the bat. So he's been around the ball club. He's still connected to the team as much as you can be on the disabled list, and you're hoping for Ricky to come back in 2010 and pick up where he left off, because he was putting together a huge year. A liner to Votto, and that's the way the day has turned for the Brewers. 3 up, 3 down for Greer once again. He's retired 10 straight. Wisconsin is presented by Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. And by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Tundra Territory at Miller Park. A little rain, a little wind outside. The roof is closed. We're high and dry in a great ballpark. Brewers down to the Reds by 3. Miller Lite, what's on tap? Tomorrow we start a series with the Pirates. 6:30 is airtime for Brewers Live. Craig and Davey will be with you. Saturday, an hour earlier, it's 5:30 airtime, and then Sunday's matinee begins at 12:30. Miller Lite, what's on tap? The Brewers and the Pirates coming up next. Chris Narveson on the pitch. He'll take over for Mark DeFelice, who goes an inning and a third, gives up 3 hits and 2 runs. And Narveson coming off his first career big league win, his last appearance against the Washington Nationals.
Well, pitched on Tuesday, gave up a couple of hits, a walk in an inning of work against the Cincinnati Reds. Had pretty good numbers down in AAA. 3.70 ERA, had 5 saves and a 4-4 record.
Narveson will face the middle of this Cincinnati order: Votto, Phillips, and Rolen. And they have done some damage here today. Votto with a double and an RBI and a run scored. Phillips drove in the tying run with a double, and Rolen put the Reds on top with a 2 RBI single. Joey Votto made a run at Rookie of the Year last year. Giovanni Soto won that award. Both have spent time on the disabled list this year, but Votto continues to put up good numbers, while Soto, it's been a struggle for him in Chicago.
Yeah, having a tough time. Yeah, sophomore jinx maybe. Not the case with Votto. He continues to put up good numbers and put together good at bats, and has really done a nice job at first base. I mean, he's turned into a pretty good first baseman. The total package.
Slices one into left. Braun looks up, and that one's gone. And that's what he does. Tremendous opposite field power. And it's 8-4 Cincinnati.
That's what we're talking about. You got to pound that guy inside. You leave something out over the plate, and he will give it a ride to left field. Boy, something else. Boy, how this game has turned around. 4-0 in the first. 8 unanswered runs by Cincinnati. This guy's looking like world beaters in this series. Keeps his head down. I mean, thinking left field all the way. I mean, particularly with a left-handed pitcher out there, not thinking about pulling it, and able to shoot it out of here to left field. Ryan Braun knew it.
So Votto with his 20th home run of the year, and the Reds have scored 8 unanswered runs, and they lead 8-4. Meanwhile, Justin Lear has retired 10 in a row, and 12 out of his last 13 faced. Brewers have seen this game far too much this season, especially in the last couple of months. Phillips to Escobar, who goes up the ladder. Alcides Escobar pulls one down, takes a sure double away from Brandon Phillips.
Well, got it in the webbing, a perfectly timed leap. Ball looked like it was going to be in the gap. It might have been a double. And check out Escobar. Times his leap perfectly. I thought I saw some white popping out of that glove. There it is. Yep, snow cone. But able to hold on to it. Jimmy John's delivery to the game.
Here's Rolen with one away. Rolen drove in 2 with a single in the 5th to put the Reds on top. Snapped a 4-4 tie with that base hit. Well, Rolen's had a nice career and starting to feel healthy once again. Did have the concussion when he first arrived to Cincinnati. He was hit by a pitch in the head, put him on the disabled list, but for the most part he's been able to play every day. Former Rookie of the Year. Rolen was the Rookie of the Year back in '97 with the Phillies. Not a bad rookie season.
No.
21 homers, 92 driven in.
Big guy that chokes up. You don't see many big home run hitters. Guys like Scott Rolen, as big as he is, choking up. Chokes up about an inch on that bat. I never knew that.
Down he goes. Second out, first strikeout for Narveson. Now, Brewers general manager Doug Melvin and his wife Ellen have been passionate supporters of the Susan G. Komen for the Cure Foundation, helping raise more than $70,000 in a quest to win breast cancer forever. Now they're asking fans to join them in this cause. Fans who attend the Friday, August 28th game, that's tomorrow, can purchase raffle tickets for just $5. And you know what they're going to win, Rock? One fan, the winner, is going to receive a framed autographed jersey of Brewers closer Trevor Hoffman.
Nice. Good deal.
So
$5.
All the raffle proceeds support the Komen Milwaukee Foundation.
Can we enter?
Employees not eligible.
No.
But you can drop your $5 bill if you want.
I'll take it. $5. That's a pretty good deal. You get Trevor Hoffman jersey. Maybe I can give the $5 to a friend. He can do it.
A plant. Yeah, you might want to go for a couple. Maybe yeah, maybe even drop down to 20. You get 4. Escobar backhands it. And the throw, it's in time. Narveson gives up a homer, then retires the side in order after that. 8-4 Reds.
learned first by watching. 'Cause I remember Lyle Overbay was here, and he was kind of platooning, and then they kind of weaned him in slightly. And the thing about Prince, he can hit a ball as far as anybody, number one. But number two, I mean, this guy is becoming a hitter. When you see him hitting the ball up the middle as well, and the other way, I mean, he's hitting 300.
That's Dusty Baker talking about Prince fielder Davey Nelson. Had a chance to catch up with him before the game as we get set to start the bottom of the 7th inning. Reds lead at 8-4, and Escobar lays the bunt down and just gets beat. First out of the inning. But Davey, Dusty shared another very special story with you on Prince fielder as well.
Well, he certainly did, and we were talking and afterwards, and he said, you know, Greg Maddux, who's going to be a Hall of Fame pitcher, really said that number one, there are 2 players that he would not miss an at bat if he's in the ballpark, and one was Chipper Jones, the other one was Prince fielder.
No matter what.
No matter what. He said, if I have to go to the bathroom, I'm going to hold it because I'm going to watch those guys hit.
All right, I'm sure a lot of people share that sentiment, especially if you're here at the ballpark. Our on-field instructional after the game, Jimmy Gantner, the former Brewer great second baseman, will join us on the field. We're going to talk playing the backhand as well. So got to get the late inning rally going, boys.
It can happen. The Brewers scored 5 in the 9th to tie it just the other night. Who knows, right? As fast as it turned the other way for the Brewers, they're hoping they can turn it back around just as quickly.
And who would have thought? Figure out a way to get Justin Lear out of the ball game. How about that play against Escobar?
Yeah, that was something else.
Tremendous play by the pitcher.
You won't see one better than that from the mound as Lopez whistles one into the gap. Lopez, bothered by that sore toe, will roll into second with another double. 2 hits a game, pretty much the standard for Felipe Lopez as his batting average continues to rise. His second double.
Puts just such an easy swing on the baseball, not over swinging. Always seems to be able to put the bat on the baseball. Like a sinker that was up in the strike zone. Justin Lear might be tiring. He's working into the 7th inning here. And Lopez waits back nicely and rips it into the gap. Don't have to swing hard. It's all about, you know, bat speed at the point of contact.
And putting the barrel on the baseball. And Lopez does that about as well as anyone. He's been something to watch here as a Brewer. I talked to Felipe the other day about his time in Milwaukee, and he loves it here. He loves the ballpark. He says it's a great hitter's park. It's a comfortable park. Obviously, the amenities are excellent with the size of the clubhouse and the facilities with the batting cage. You know, as a hitter, he thinks this is a great place to set up shop, and he can understand why Braun and Fielder enjoy hitting here so much and have produced like they have.
Yeah, he and Prince Fielder have developed a pretty tight relationship.
They call him Flip. Garrett pops it up. Valentin will move in. And it's the second out of the inning. Lopez and Fielder go back a little ways. You know, Lopez was part of that group in Orlando. Went to the same high school as Ricky Weeks. David Eckstein was involved in when all those guys became professionals. They started to work out in the offseason. Mike Rivera's in that group as well. And then Fielder, of course, joined that group. And he and Ricky Weeks have known each other since they were, well, Prince was 12. Ricky, I believe, was 14. Lopez much older than Fielder. 4 years older than Prince. From the same territory in Orlando. And they all work out in the offseason at the Orlando Magic facility where their trainer is stationed. Prince doesn't hit with those guys, though, which is interesting. Fielder, he likes to just show up at random batting cages. Knocks on the door. Hi there, I'm Prince Fielder. You mind if I take a few hacks?
That doesn't surprise you, does it?
I'm not sure he's going to be able to do that much longer. He said he walked in on a batting cage. This guy was there all by himself. Pounded on the tin shed. Said, you mind throwing me, some batting practice?
Right.
And the guy couldn't even hardly breathe. He said he couldn't throw him a strike for about the first 20 pitches. Partly because he was an outfielder,
Right.
but the other part was because of the risk factor.
You don't want to hit Prince.
And you don't want to get hit by Prince.
That's the thing, you go out there and throw batting practice to these guys. Always in the back of your mind, I just can't hit this guy.
Yeah.
Get a guy out there that, hey, throw to Ryan, any of these big leaguers, any of the guys in the Brewers, in the back of your mind, I throw BP, just don't hit them.
And then there's that chuck and duck element. You want to make sure you're behind the L screen.
Which makes it even more likely you might hit a guy because you have to be right behind the screen because when they get it and they hit it back at you, there's no chance of getting out of the way. It's going to hit you. You can't react that quick. You really can't. I'm amazed that these pitchers out there just don't get drilled on a nightly basis as hard as they hit the baseball.
Yeah. 3 balls and a strike to Braun. The Brewers could use a quick strike here. And a bouncer over to Giannis. Inning over. So the Brewers get a double, but Strand, Lopez at second, and Lear keeps it going for the Reds. Final trip to Brewtown. A lot of kids here. Great to see them. School starts soon. They'll be back at it Tuesday all across Wisconsin. We certainly want to tip our hats to all the teachers out there getting their classrooms together. Appreciate all the efforts that our teachers give after a summer off, and now back at it, ready for school to begin next week. My wife was a teacher.
What grade?
She taught kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade.
Wow. Gotta have some patience there, huh?
Man. Big fan of the teachers out there.
Oh yeah, who isn't? My father was a teacher.
That's right.
A science teacher, then he became a principal. That was a lot of fun for me.
Papa Schroeder, the principal. Did you ever? That was back in the day when the paddles were quite an effective tool.
Wasn't that long ago now. Come on, not that old.
You never got a good paddling by your principal father at school?
At school, no.
You knew you were in trouble when you showed up one day and he was drilling holes in the paddle to let the air through.
So he can whack you harder. Never got the paddle. It was just the threat of the paddle.
That's all really. That's all.
Stops you. My mother used to rattle the drawer where she kept the wooden spoon. That's all it took.
You're like Pavlov's dog, right?
Stop me dead in my tracks.
Like the shock collar.
Yes.
As Gomes strikes out. Speaking of shot callers, Brock will be down on the field for an instructional on fielding backhanded.
With Jim Gantner.
Ah, there's the trick.
Now the question you should add, what do you know about fielding a backhander? I don't know anything about that, but Jim Gantner very good at it.
I was slightly concerned not with you bending down to field it backhanded, but the getting up part of it.
Straightening up and making a throw.
But Jim Gantner's going to be here, Gumby.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. Instructional after the game. That's a fair ball. How about this play by McGee? Can he finish it off? He can. Casey McGee, an outstanding play at third. And 2 outs. A backhanded stab, Jim Gantner style.
There it is. There's a backhander. You know, Casey able to go down. You try and get down as low as you can. Get those eyes at baseball level. On a play like that, you can judge the hop a lot better. Trick is get up and spin around and make a throw. There's where I would struggle. Right there.
It's an equilibrium issue. Justin Lear is going to hit his 4th plate appearance here today. Well, things started to unravel when Lear worked the count against Dave Bush in the 5th inning and ended up drawing a walk. That was with 2 outs and nobody on. And Lear would reach base, and he would start a string of 6 consecutive batters that reached base. And the Reds, when it was all said and done, had 5 runs on the board, all with 2 outs. A 1-2-3 inning for Narveson. Prince will lead off, and that's always worth watching. Fielder, McGee, and Cameron when we come back. Things turned around in the 5th as you see what Fielder has done at the plate, presented by Wendy's. A home run, a walk. Last time up he flew out to right. Cincinnati scoring 8 unanswered runs against the Brewers. 8-4. Reds still having some fun here at Miller Park. Justin Lear making his 6th big league start of his career and turning in one of his better performances after that 4-run first. He has locked down the crew.
He's only given up 2 base hits since that first inning. He had a stretch of 11 straight. He retired. Lopez with a 1-out double in the 7th, and since that time, since the first, Brewers haven't had too many scoring opportunities.
6 consecutive shutout innings for Lear. He's helped himself not only with the bat as a sacrifice bunt, and he drew the walk that started a 5-run rally, but also with the glove. He made a nice play last inning on Escobar. Darnell McDonald in left field takes over for Johnny Gomes. Fielder leads off. Brewers down 4. Fielder, McGee, and Cameron due up for the Crew. Bottom of the 8th. Carlos Villanueva loosening for the 9th. Narveson with 2 innings and 1 run gave up the home run to Votto, and then retired 6 in a row with a couple of strikeouts. The Astros have scored a run in the 8th. They've tied the Cardinals 1-1. Excuse me, 3-3. That game's in the top of the 8th inning. Nationals still lead the Cubs 5-4 in the top of the 8th as well. Good series in Colorado that has gone back and forth. Colorado won the opener against the Dodgers, and they pulled to within 2 games of Los Angeles. Dodgers winning last night, so they're back to a 3-game lead. They are tied at 2 today in the 5th. Later tonight, the Padres and the Braves, and the Phillies and the Pirates. The Giants will host the Diamondbacks. Prince goes down swinging. 1 gone in the 8th.
It's amazing to watch Justin Lear here today. I mean, his fastball has not gotten any higher than 87 miles an hour, and that was up in the zone. Doing such a good job of mixing it up. The split-fingered fastball, the curveball, slider, and able to get the high fastball with not much velocity right by some of these Brewer hitters. That at 78 miles an hour and a changeup. I think that was a changeup.
Well, you got to tip your hat to Lear. I mean, after a rough first inning, he hung in there and kept the Brewers down, stopped them at 4. His offense got him back into the game, and here he is still pitching in the 8th. Had a complete game earlier this year against the Cubs, a complete game shutout against Chicago. He made 66 appearances in the big leagues without a start before he finally got the chance as a starting pitcher with the Reds earlier this year. McGee gone on strikes. 2 up, 2 down in the 8th, and that is strikeout number 7 for Justin Lear.
We got Casey on the splitter. Down in the dirt. And Casey can't hold up. It's been a good pitch for him. Getting to 2 strikes has been the trick for him, at least in the first inning it was. Brewers attacking early in the count. Since that time, he's located much better.
Jared Burton loosening. Might see him in the 9th. Any trouble here in the 8th, he'll pitch.
Yeah, 116 pitches, that's a lot. That's where Lear sits right now.
Cameron into left field. Did he get enough? Back is McDonald, and that one's gone way out of here. Mike Cameron with his 19th home run of the year, and the Brewers back within 3. That had no problem leaving the ballpark. It didn't have that big full sound off the bat, but Cameron so strong, able to pound one out of here for his 19th of the season.
Well, use that bat with a big barrel on it, and I think he knew it right away as soon as he hit it. Nice easy swing, and knocks it on out of here. Second deck over the Friday's restaurant. That Brewers finally on the board since that first run since the first inning. First pitch fastball leaves the ballpark.
And that's going to do it for Justin Lear. So he has hit his limit. Dusty Baker takes him out. Cameron now a homer away from 20. And Lear leaves after giving up 5 runs in 7 2/3 innings. And with a new pitcher coming on, we check in with Telly Hughes.
Hey guys, Mike Cameron just going deep, and he'll have his bowl-a-thon tonight at Pinstripes in Glendale, Wisconsin, and I'll be there. And you know, a lot of players are anticipating on being out. Our own Davey Nelson will be emceeing the events, and you know, I'll have a camera out there. We're going to put a mic on Mike, and we'll have that feature coming to you on Brewers Live in the next couple days. So even though things aren't turning out the way they want to in today's game, at least so far, the guys will get a chance to trade in their baseball cleats for bowling shoes and bowl for calls tonight. And you know, it really should be a good time, and Mike Cameron's expecting a lot of his teammates to come out. Guys, let's send it back up to you.
All right, thanks. There's the information for tonight's event at Pinstripes in Glendale, Wisconsin. Reception starts at 5. The bowling begins at 6. And it's to benefit Usher's New Look Foundation. Grammy Award winner, Usher. 902-4532 for more information, or you can log on to the web, brewers.com/Cameron. As the Reds have a new pitcher, Jared Burton, on with 2 outs and nobody on in the 8th.
Well, Cincinnati getting good start out of Justin Lear after first 2 games of the series using 6 relievers. So first time out of the bullpen here today. Burton has pitched in all 3 games in the series now. That good outing in yesterday's game. On Tuesday, got hit around pretty good in the 9th inning.
Well, Mike Rivera will bat. 8-5, the Reds lead the Brewers. First run the Brewers have scored since the 4-run first inning. And we'll see if they can fight their way back into this one. Well, if Rivera can reach, Craig Counsell would pinch hit. There's a strike. Burton has a good arm and has that cut fastball into the 90-mile-an-hour range. I mean, that is a special pitch you just don't see very often.
Pretty good arms out of this Reds bullpen that we've seen all year long. Bullpen a real strong suit for this club. Has been all year.
Rivera singled in the 3rd. 1 for 3 at the plate here today. These are going to be some interesting days coming up until September 1st to watch some of the waiver wire deals that go down. Deals that could help a ball club in a pennant race. You have to be on a major league roster by the 1st of September to be playoff eligible. So busy times for general managers, especially those general managers in pennant races. Rivera strikes out. Inning is over, but the Brewers get one from Cameron. His 19th of the year off Justin Lear. It's 8-5 Cincinnati.
and that would give the Brewers a 3-run lead. But in the 5th inning, it was all Reds. 5 runs on 4 hits, and that's when most of the damage was done with 2 outs. And then in the 7th, Joey Votto would add to the lead with a home run. He's 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, and that's where we stand now. It's an 8-5 game in the top of the 9th, and hopefully the Brewers will have another big 9th inning in them and hopefully get back in this game and possibly tie it and send in extra innings or even win it, guys.
All right, Telly. Narveson back on the mound as we move to the night. Drew Stubbs leads off. Cincinnati's leadoff hitter. 2 hits today, drove in a run in the 6th. Stubbs, out of the Reds minor league system, considered to have some of the best tools in their system. He's a big prospect out of the University of Texas. Great glove man in center field. Terrific arm. He's fast. But a lot like Paul Janisch. They're interested to see what he's going to do with the bat.
That's the key. All that's good, but if he doesn't hit, I don't think he's going to have much of a chance. Swinging the bat pretty well in this game. 4 strikeouts in last night's game, but has handled the bat pretty well his last 2 at bats.
Got him. Narveson strikes him out, his 3rd strikeout, and Chris Narveson is now retired. 7 in a row. Well, we're running our text to vote question this week. Our U.S. Cellular text to vote. Should Pete Rose be reinstated to baseball? And so far, 71% saying yes, he should. 27% no. You can text your vote to 234-234. We'll keep it going until Sunday.
That's a landslide. I'm surprised.
Many feel Pete Rose has paid his dues. Giannis sends one to left. Braun's got it. I think the Brewers found Paul Janish's hot spot. Down and in is a pitch he can handle.
Yeah.
He doubled in 2 runs on that same pitch back in the 5th inning.
Yeah, you get the ball up on him, you can get it by him, but down and in seems to be a spot where he likes. Just drops the head of the bat on it. He's hit some line drives today. 1 strikeout that he had today was up around the belt, up around the letters.
Joey Votto's had a big day. RBI double in the 4th inning. Had a home run in the 7th. Scored twice. He's been on 3 times. Brewers have a pinch hitter to lead off the bottom of the 9th, and then Escobar, and then back to the top of the order. Votto swings. It's 2-2. Tomorrow the Pirates are here and rock. The Brewers are going to send up Manny Parra against Zach Duke. A couple of lefties tomorrow. How about that piece of hitting? Man. Just put the bat on it. Serves it into center field. A base hit for Votto, his 3rd of the game.
That guy doesn't strike out that much. That's why he hits 300. Yeah, with 2 strikes, your whole mission is just put the bat on the baseball. Hit it anywhere. A perfect example of it right there. There's a nice easy swing, a flick of the wrist, and able to dump it in front of Cameron in center field.
It's like a pepper swing.
Yeah.
Flat-footed. Phillips pops it up. Escobar wants it, and the Reds' ninth is over. Bottom of the ninth, last call for the Brewers. They trail by 3. On the mound here at Miller Park. Crowd of 31,091. And many of them have hit the exits. But maybe the Brewers have another rally in them. They scored 5 runs in the 9th inning on Tuesday night. They'll need 3 to tie it here, 4 to win it in the bottom of the 9th. Cordero blew just his 2nd save of the year on Tuesday. Has 27 saves this season, picked up number 27 last night. He worked a scoreless 10th inning. Craig Counsell will lead off. Counsell, Escobar, then back to the top of the order in Lopez. Brewers Live coming up just as soon as we're done here. An instructional today on the backhanded pickup. And Jim Gantner will join us on Brewers Live following the game for the instructional.
Not too many better than Gumby when you talk about a backhanded play. Going up the middle at second base.
Counsell pinch hitting here in the 9th inning. Comes in at .282 batting average. Brewers signed him as a free agent this offseason with Milwaukee last year. Hit in the low 200s. Completely overhauled his swing, and he's had quite a year. One of the best of his career. He had a 9 home run season one year in Arizona, but never had more than 4 in any other season, and he has 4 homers this season. 39 years of age, and he takes ball 4, and that's a good start.
A great start. Need base runners. The bottom part of the order gets on for the top. Never know. He was able to score some runs with Cordero on the mound on Tuesday night. Counsell walked in that ball game.
Counsell walked with the bases loaded against Cordero. Picked up an RBI the easy way. This time he gets Escobar to the plate with a runner at first. The Brewers need 2 on, and then a long ball to tie it perhaps. Although Cordero is not a guy you expect a home run off of. He doesn't give up many. Escobar takes a ball, 1-1 the count.
Tough pitch to take right there. Got a little bit of cut to it. Just missed the outside corner.
It's been a game of big innings. Brewers scored 4 in the first, the Reds with 5 in the 5th. Escobar waves at a slider, 1-2 the count. It's a tough pitch to lay off if you've seen it a lot, and it's almost impossible if you haven't. Puts a bat on it. Going to be a tough play. Giannis fires to first in time. Man, this guy has some kind of cannon. I mean, there aren't many shortstops that can make that play, as Escobar is just clipped at first base.
Well, you knew when that ball was hit, it was going to be a tough play for Giannis. The trick for him was to get it out of his glove and on its way to first base quickly, which he was able to do. Bang, bang play. Could have gone either way. But Angel Campos over there at first base rings him up pretty close. Boy, that would have made things interesting. I tell you, Giannis has shown a pretty good glove and a good arm at shortstop in this series.
What kind of fastball are we talking about on the mound on the radar gun right there?
Yeah, mid 90s, mid 90s, but wouldn't make a good pitcher because it's so straight, just like J.J. Hardy the way he throws.
Perfect for a shortstop, though.
Yeah.
Lopez with a runner at second. Ball and a strike on Felipe Lopez, who has 2 hits today. He's 2 for 4 and a batting average of .320, inching his way toward the top 5 in the National League. Looked like a changeup from Cordero. 1-2 the count.
Looks like he's got the changeup grip. Didn't know he even threw one.
Don't see it very often. A bouncer, another tough chance, but Cordero's right there, and Lopez retired. Well, Paul Giannis has done it with his bat on a couple of occasions, but it has been his glove that has been impressive. He's made a number of terrific plays and showing off a great arm. He was a star in college at Rice, and getting a chance to play here with the Cincinnati Reds, and he has truly made a difference in this series defensively.
What a difference in the inning if he's not able to make that play on Escobar.
Tying run comes to the plate. Well, can Jody Garrett reach and give Ryan Braun a swat at Cordero, representing the tying run? Counsell is over at third. Brewers down to their last out. Cordero making a bid at save number 28. Justin Lear in line for the win. Dave Bush on the hook for the loss. Two and one. 98-mile-an-hour fastball from Cordero.
Looked like a pretty good pitch. That's about the only chance you have with a pitch with that kind of velocity down in the zone. Gets it up, not much chance.
And Garrett late on the fastball. 2-2 the count. '97-98 is tough to handle anyway, but just the hit of the slider that sticks in your mind as a hitter, slows it down even more. Brewers down to their last strike. Braun is on deck. He would be the tying run if he bats. And a good play back there by Tatum. 3-2 the count on Jody Garrett. Good at bat by Garrett, hanging tough against Cordero.
I know Cordero doesn't want to walk in to bring Ryan Braun up to the plate representing a tying run, so you got to figure it's going to be fastballs from Cordero here. Doesn't want to have to face Brawny.
Another 3-2 pitch, and it's in the dirt, and here we go. Braun will get a chance to hit, representing the tying run as Garrett draws the walk.
Got a very smart pitch right there. Slider in the dirt. Now a home run ties it. Now you throw a fastball there, a home run. Brewers are still down a run.
Trevor Hoffman getting loose.
Just in case the Brewers tie it up.
A long ball here, and we're tied at 8. Braun against Cordero, 2 for 5 in his career. Ryan sitting on 27 home runs. In the dirt. Cordero has given up just 2 home runs all season. Braun had a 2 RBI single off Cordero on Wednesday night, or Tuesday night, excuse me. And now Cordero going to be forced to throw him a strike with Fielder on deck.
And back-to-back sliders, not even close. You got to figure if you're Ryan Braun, you're looking dead red, looking fastball, something you can try and jerk out of here. There it was. Outer half.
2-1 to Braun. 8-5 Cincinnati. The Brewers have the tying run at the plate. And Braun cuts through one. He chased one upstairs at 96 miles an hour, and it's 2-2.
Upstairs, tough to get to, especially at that big velocity.
Well, does Cordero dare throw Braun a slider with Fielder on deck? 2-2 the count. And a fastball fouled away.
Well, 2 sliders to get Brawny ahead in the count 2-0, and it's been 3 straight fastballs.
Can the Brewers come off the deck again in this series? Down to their last strike. The 2-2, and Braun spoils another one.
And the more fastballs you see, the better chance you have at timing it out. Ryan able to get to that high fastball that time to foul it off. Remember the first one he got, he swung right through.
th pitch of the inning for Cordero. He's walked 2. Runners at the corners with 2 outs. And Braun down on strikes. Got him on a slider. The ball game is over. Cordero with his 28th save of the year, and the Reds sweep the Milwaukee Brewers 3 in a row here at Miller Park. Cordero saving the final 2 games.
Well, Ryan got ahead